let's see if we've picked the right one. We've not. Bear with me while I press all the buttons because I can't remember which screen I'm meant to be on. That one. There we go. I'm professional. Hello, everyone. I'm Ben. Welcome to my book corner, and this is part of DontDieJuly, the yearly horror event that I have co-hosted for 4 years. Right, that can stop making noise. 4 years now, created by my good friend Noah, who is in the chat, as you can see. Hey, Katie, you all right? Also, hello to Luna. Welcome back from your social media break. Welcome to Elaine as well, and all the silent people watching. How are we all doing? How's life? How's things? How are we all doing today on this fine day? I'll say fine. A bit overcast, but it's been a nice enough day. This is the 4th year. So today we're doing the Abominable Snowman. It's only quite a thin one. I don't think it's going to take that long. It's definitely not going to take that long until I die and it goes horribly wrong. I'm special, I get, and you're all right. You are very special, Katie. So, oh, there's a trivia quiz in the back. Okay, I've not actually opened this since I bought it several months ago. It's got art in it, but I've just realised there's a map in the back with stuff on it, and artwork as well. So it's only 116 pages. A lot of these pages have the end written on them. Just flipping through. So if you don't know what a Choose Your Own Adventure book is, you start at the beginning and you make choices as you play through, and it tells you what page to turn to. We do have a pen and some paper to make notes because we will die. If you were here for the Chuck Tingle ones, they didn't go especially well. I got absolutely marmalised in those. So there we go. This is quite a big series. I don't know what number this is. Hey, God, I can't read my own thing. Zivlin, is that right? How are you? Welcome. I think I've seen you in Noah's chats before. I pressed a button. There we go. Show the map. Okay, bear with me. I'm saying a map. Is it a map? It's not a map. It's a list of the highest peaks. So, don't know how well stuff's going to show up on here. Is there a map in the front? I'll show the artwork as we go through anyway. There is a warning at the front, so we shall begin with that. This book is different from other books. You and you alone are in charge of what happens in this story. We have no chance. There are dangers, choices, adventures, and consequences. You must use all of your numerous talents, there's not many of those, and much of your enormous intelligence, there's even less of that. The wrong decision could end in disaster, even death, but don't despair. At any time you can go back and make another choice, alter the path of your story, and change it as a result. No worries, Kate, I appreciate you dropping in. I hope you have a great rest of the day, whatever you are doing. It's always good to see you. You and your best friend Carlos have travelled to Nepal in search of the fabled Yeti, or Abominable Snowman. This is why Noah's not reading this book, because he can't say that word. Last year, while the two of you were mountain climbing in South America, a guide told you about a legendary creature, and you haven't stopped thinking about the Yeti since. Carlos arrived and went straight into the mountains when a Yeti sighting was reported. He hasn't been heard of in 3 days. A late monsoon storm has moved in, and the mountains are almost impassable. You know Carlos will depend on you to do the right thing. But what is it? Don't bend the book cover. Oh, shush. Shush, right? Leave me alone. Wait till you see some of the other books that I've picked up. I like the fact that it's got that sort of getting wide text at the bottom, almost like that Star Wars effect of the intro. So I appreciate that. So we have a backdrop of the Himalayan mountains in there, so that's always nice. I don't know what any of those are, other than Everest, but there we go. Grab a highlighter, no book murder. I haven't murdered them. So, we begin at page 1. You are a mountain climber. 3 years ago, you spent the summer at a climbing school in the mountains of Colorado. Your instructors said that you had natural skills as a climber. You made rapid progress, and by the end of the summer, you were leading difficult rock and ice climbs. That summer, you became close friends with a boy named Carlos. The two of you made a good climbing team. Last year, you and he were chosen to join an international team. The expedition made it to the top of 2 unclaimed peaks in South America. Let me just do that so I can actually see the chat properly, because I can't read it on that. One night on that expedition, the group was seated around the cook tent at the base camp. The expedition leader, Franz, told stories of climbing in the Himalayas, the highest mountains in the world. So it's turned to page 2, which I've just shown you, which is that. And then turn to page 4. So far we have no decisions to make. My tummy is very upset, so I have to take him meds now and put on a jumper as I was feeling cold. Oh no, but how's the weather up there? Have you got nice weather now? It's normal here until later in the week. It is getting a bit warm again, so it is a good pitch for the mountains. So, the Himalayas form a great natural wall between India and China, with Nepal tucked in amidst the peaks. Everest, K2, Annapurna are the best-known mountains in the Himalayas. These and many other peaks have been climbed. Still others lie in remote areas where few humans have gone. There, said Franz, in the high valleys beneath the snowfield, lives the Yeti, sometimes called the Abominable Snowman. Hello, Leslie. Let's see if I can rage bait you here rather than in yours. This will be fun. It's also worth mentioning, I think these are aimed at like 8 to 12, just on a side point. So, not a bad starting point if you're not doing Choose Your Own Adventures before. I know we have done a few times, and it always goes really badly. The Yeti is said to be a huge beast, Franz tells you. Perhaps a cross between a gorilla and a human? People cannot agree what it is. Is the Yeti dangerous? Carlos asked. Franz shrugged. Some say it is. Other people say the Yeti is very gentle. You ever seen one? You inquire. Nah, almost no one has. The best proof of the Yeti's existence is a set of very large footprints discovered in the 1950s by a British expedition. Is that correct, Elaine? Because you are the expert in these things in the chat. No one has ever photographed one, but I have heard, Franz answered. But still, the stories persist. You and Carlos decided then and there and then, let's put it the correct way around, to find the Yeti. When you returned from South America, the two of you raised money from the International Foundation for research into strange phenomena. Your goal, proof positive that Yeti exist. You will find and photograph the Yeti. I'm not that good at reading. This will become clear as we work. I'm trying to save my voice because I realise we might not have many football fans or soccer fans here. But England play at 1 a.m. and I intend to be screaming at the TV at 1 a.m. So I'm trying to save my voice. So there's going to be a little bit less of the silly voices today, other than my normal voice, which is silly enough. 1950s British expedition. The best evidence of large footprints for Yeti, because I know you are our cryptid expert in the chat. So if you want stuff about cryptids, ask Elaine. Elaine knows all the things. I'll be mentioning as well, Luna, at the end. So I'm sidestepping a little bit. I will focus in a minute. I'm highly caffeinated. I'll be mentioning that book at the end that you suggested for an arc that I reach out for. So I'll be mentioning that at the end as well, just on a side point, when I go over my dangerously large pile of purchases. That is what brings you to Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal. Your problems, though, have already begun. 2 days ago, Carlos left by helicopter to look over the terrain near Mount Everest. The helicopter returned without him. The pilot told you that Carlos decided to stay up at the Everest base camp to check out a report that a Yeti had been seen. He had a radio transmitter, but you have received no word from him. The weather turned bad, and radio communication was interrupted. I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to. It's on my list probably for August at this point. You have an appointment to speak with R.N. Runnell, the Director of Expeditions and Mountain Research, and an authority on Yeti. He knows of your plan. You need his help with official permits for the expedition. He will also have good advice and information. But what about Carlos? So we have our first choice. Can I do it on here? If you decide to cancel your meeting with Runnell and search for Carlos, turn to page 7. If you feel that Carlos is okay, go ahead with your plan to meet Runnell and turn to page 8. So, let me just bounce that out, bounce that in, because I can't do it on my phone because I have fat fingers, but we're going to try and do something. Start a poll. Let's see. I did not say Silver Flames, ever. No, I don't want that. I want... Can I delete that? Yes. Okay. So, right, here we go. Oh, Carlos. Right. Go to meeting. What should... Ah! I know what I'm doing. Right. I'm trying to do too much here. So. Right, that can go away. Go away. Don't want you. There we go. There we go. Right, so what should we do? Should we search for Carlos? Or should we go to the meeting? Everybody vote now. Yes. No? I might have done. I've seen the one for the Starbright box for next month. I can't remember what the Evernight box was. What I saw. I don't remember things very well, as we have established in the past. We have a 50-50 thing. Who is going to break things? Are we searching for Carlos, or are we going to the meeting? Search for Carlos, search for Carlos. I'm going to make a note of what page I'm on. Not with my left hand, because that would be a terrible idea. Right, there we go. Ocean themed. Oh, is it? Oh, wait. No, did I? End the poll. Let's copy that for later. I did see that, and I think I looked up to see what it might be, and it looks, if it's what I think it is, it looks quite good. So we're going to search for Carlos. I'm sure this won't go wrong at all. So we have some more artwork. So the helicopter and the base camp by the looks of it. You telephone Mr. Runnell at the Foreign Ministry. This is an emergency, Mr. Runnell. My friend Carlos is missing at base camp. I need help right now. Of course I understand. Please allow me the honour of coming with you. I know the region well. You gladly accept the help of Mr. Runnell. His reputation as a mountaineer is excellent. He's able to arrange for a Royal Nepalese Army helicopter to meet you at the Tribhuhaven Airport. 2 hours later, you land at the Everest base camp where Carlos was last seen. His red nylon mountain tent is still there, but the storm has erased all footprints. Hello, and welcome. How's life? How's things? Hope you're doing well. As a kid, these books were so important to me, so much fun. So, I have never read these. The only Choose Your Own Adventures that I'd done until recently were the Lone Wolf books, which I did years ago at this point, which I got Noah to try out, which that's a point. I'm not sure where Noah's up to with them. Maybe he can let us know in a bit where he's up to with those, because I can't remember. Most reports of the Yeti have them well below base camp, but it is possible that they are up this high, Runnell said, as the two of you stand by the tent, looking at the glacier and the high peaks. Okay, let's bounce again. So, do we want to search below the base camp in the valley, or go above the base camp? Is it? That's interesting. I've never read any Frida McFadden. I don't think they're my sorts of books, but a lot of people seem to really like them. I find it interesting that it's a play of a Choose Your Own Adventure books, though. I've done the Chuck Tingle ones, or a couple of Chuck Tingle ones on stream. They were surprisingly fun. I haven't got a coin. Normally I'll just coin toss, and once again I've not got a coin. Search the base camp. Above the base camp. 13. Okay. Oh no, I shouldn't have opened it to that page. Okay. So we have another picture. Let's minimize that. So that is our next picture. You know what? I'm going to write it down because the dinner party. I cannot buy anything else, as will be clear at the end of the video when I show everything that I have bought. That's not how you spell party, then. Come on. I'll give it a look, though, absolutely. Did you have a favourite one of these books? And if so, which one was it? Out of curiosity. Well, above the base camp are the dangerous Serex. These huge blocks of ice are always moving, and people climbing through the maze of ice are in constant danger. Runnell leads the way. You both have crampons on your boots. A slender red and yellow nylon rope links the two of you. It's a safety rope. Watch out! Jump! Thank you, Elaine. I knew you would know. A block of ice quivers and tumbles to the side, sending clouds of snow and ice crystals in the air. Like I say, these are new to me. I've always known about them, but... On the backside of a Serex, as large as a 2-story house, you find him. Carlos is sitting in the sun, fidgeting with his camera. Hey, what are you guys doing? That's what we want to know. You scared us to death with your disappearing act. What's up? Carlos puts the camera away, and after you introduce him to Runnell, explains that he found tracks, Yeti tracks perhaps, and followed them. My God. He tried to radio, but the weather blocked it. The tracks faded, and he couldn't find his way back to the camp. He had been sitting and waiting. Runnell examined one track protected from drifting snow and explains that they are blue bear tracks and not Yeti tracks. So disappointed, you go back to the helicopter, that's a new form of thing, helicopter, and return to Kathmandu. Turn to the next page. The next day, you go to the shop of Sanji Podang Sorba, a well-known Sherpa guide. Carlos stays with Runnell. Oh, God knows. Getting the permits. I said I can't read. You enter the store, and there, behind a counter, stacked with dried food in plastic bags, tanks of gas from mountain stoves and wool hats, is Sanji Sorba. You introduce yourself, and immediately you like this man. He is a warm and friendly soul, and recently he has been with the Japanese expedition to Pomori and a French Everest attempt. Maybe you should ask him to join you as you search for the Yeti. Do we want Sanji to come with us, or should we discuss it with Carlos first? What do we think? I must have a coin somewhere. Or a dice. Surely I've got dice near me. I've got dice everywhere else in the house. Pop that there. Nope, none of those are. How do I not have a coin? Okay. Which one are we doing? Let him come with. Search together. Page 23 it is then. Try not to accidentally open at a page where I will see things. How about joining us on our search for the Yeti, Sanji? He smiles and hesitates. Then he picks up 2 sticks of incense. One is longer than the other. He lights them both, and their rich fragrance fills the air of his small store. You see, as one fragrance merges with the other, we do not know the difference between them. Only when the shorter stick burns out will we know which stick was the fragrance of rose and which was the fragrance of magnolia. You are puzzled by the talk of incense. You ask, "So, what does that mean, Sanji?" It does not mean anything. It only is. You are really confused now. What to do? Perhaps you should leave the talk of incense alone and forget about asking Sanji to join you. Maybe he is crazy. Back out of the offer or persist? I think we persist. I think that's the way we're leaning with this one. Just so I don't end up at a break point. Because I know what these books sometimes are like. Okay. So you want me to choose which stick is rose and which is magnolia. Is that it? Is it a test? If I'm right, you'll go. If not, you won't. Sanji smiles, displaying gold caps on 3 of his upper teeth. He nods his head. Here goes, you say. The longest stick is Kashmiri rose incense. Sanji claps his hands, bringing them up to his forehead and bows slightly, saying, Namaste, Baba Sahib. I am at your command, master. It is decided. He will accompany you. You have chosen the right one. Some things just happen by chance. This was one of them. You ask, where should we head? Annapurna or the lost Everest region? What do you think, Sanji? Many have seen Yeti prints near Everest, but there is a region near Annapurna and Machapukre, Fishtail Mountain, we're calling it Fish Mountain from now on, where we could have good luck. The Everest region has been more fully explored. Annapurna is less well known. Annapurna or Everest? My gut is saying Annapurna because it's less well known. That's what I am thinking, but what do other people think? Mountain. Do 50? 50. Let's go to page 50. I'm trying to remember what page I'm at for when this goes horribly, horribly wrong. 2 days later, with permits obtained and supplies bought, you, Carlos and Sanji, start the long journey. What are the options? Annapurna or Everest? Annapurna is less charted. Everest is more well known. So I'm thinking Annapurna just because surely if it's less well known, there's more chance of something unknown being there. That's my logic. I don't know how sensible that logic is. By my standards, it's probably not very sensible at all. So I'm going to go for Annapurna, I think. The first. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So 2 days later, with permits obtained and supplies bought, you, Carlos, and Sanji start the long journey from Kathmandu to Pokhara. 3 days after that, you and your party, along with 12 porters to carry the supplies, are camped in a field high above the valley floor near a small village called Dampus. Why did I not tell you I was live? Because you should have notifications turned on, Kat. So, Kat, we are going to be going through my purchases in a bit. You have my running total, I believe, so you're going to have to tell me what it is because I don't know anymore. That night after dinner of brown rice and lentils... No, it's okay. It's fine. I'm not starting that argument again. Onions and garlic. You sit in front of your red mountain tents, watching the moon play on the snowy white flanks of Annapurna and Dholagiri. It is silent and chilly. You are tired from the climb, but glad to be alive and in this magical kingdom. With the darkened village behind you, you feel as though your group might be the only people on Earth. Surprisingly, you see a light flash on Annapurna. It repeats. Then again, it may just be a reflection, or another party, or it may be a signal from someone in trouble, or maybe it's a signal from the Yeti. If you think it's a signal, page 67. If you think it's another climbing party, turn to 65. It's repeating. It's a light flash that repeats, then again. Is that an SOS? Is that probably another climbing party? If you think it's a signal, turn to 67. If you think it's another party, turn to 65. Which one do we want, peeps? Am I? That sounds excessive, but believable. It might be more, but we'll get there later. Creepy signal. You think it's a creepy signal? Signal? All right, page 67 it is. We have, and we have some dissent in the ranks. Ben has been shopping, being a book tease, making us wait. I mean, are they pretty books? Some people know some of these books that I've got. We shall see. One of them isn't meant to be out till Tuesday, but apparently 3 short beeps, 3 long beeps, 3 short. I don't know things like that. That involves an ability to be a survivalist, which I do not have. So we have another picture, which is here. Oh, I do like the artwork in here, I've got to say. Look at that flashing light, Carlos. Once again, the light blinks 3 times, then stops. Then it blinks again. What do you think? Could be trouble. Sanji says, that could be an emergency. That could be an emergency signal. But it is very far from here across the valley and just below the glacier. We could go, or I could return to Pakara and report it to the authorities. How much time would it take to get back to Pakara? I could go faster than the whole group. Perhaps it would take a day, and they would send a helicopter. Without outside help, there is little we could do. If there is someone in trouble, but they may need help quickly. Artwork is always a bonus. Why is that not shown up there? Oh. That's quicker than that. Okay, good to know. Should we respond to the call for help, or should we let Sanji return to Pakara for help? Respond or send Sanji back? I'm not making any decisions because I make bad decisions in books. I just realised as well, this only bounces forward rather than throughout the book like a lot of the other ones. Respond. Page 85. Let's help the chaos. I don't know where this idea that I'm in. Well, what's the worst that can happen? Well, I will show the artwork in a minute. It takes you most of the night to thread your way down steep, tricky trails to reach the valley floor. Once there, you start up the immense Annapurna, scrambling over rocks and skirting the glacier. It is cold, and the night seems long to the 3 of you. Several more times you see flickers of light. Now you are sure you have done the right thing. Someone needs help. Near dawn, Carlos says, "Stop. I think I see something." Before your eyes you see what you had come for. Dancing around a large fire are 11 Yeti. You have stumbled into a Yeti celebration. At the end of the monsoons, you quietly watch, taking pictures and making notes. You have proved at last that the Yeti really exist. Months later, in Paris, France, at the International Explorers Conference, you and Carlos are given their highest award for your work. Success is both exciting and lonely. Good luck. So that is one ending. But what if we sent Sanji back? Oh, I didn't show you the picture. We have finished. Hello, Margaret. How are you doing? You've just arrived for the Yeti party. So there we go. But we are going to rewind and see what other chaos we can cause. Yes, you will see me tomorrow. I'm over on Margaret's channel tomorrow. We are discussing the trading game by Gary Stevens. I can remember nobody's name other than Gary's because I don't make notes. So I'm really hoping, and I'm pretty sure Margaret is quite organised. I am not. So that's going to be fun. That's at 6 PM my time over on Margaret's channel. So please come and say hello to that one. It was fun. It was a quick ending. But I am going to do alternative, and I'm going to go to page 83 and see where that would take us. And see if we can find an alternative ending, which I think we can. Because I'm sure there's one that involves aliens. Okay. You go ahead, Sanji. We'll stay here and keep watch. He vanishes into the dark night. There is no wind, only the silence of the mountains, and sky and stars. Somewhere in the distance, you hear the rumbling sound of water as it flows and drops from the glaciers that embrace Annapurna. Carlos says, we should go and help them. I feel selfish sitting here, safe and sound. So near dawn, you set off without your guide. That's not where I should have paused my reading at all. So near dawn, you set off without your guide. The going is rough, and you no longer see the flashes of light. Above you towers Annapurna, with her white flanks of ice and snow. Then the sky lightens, and the stars seem to disappear into the pale blue of the sky. Sunlight bursts on Macapucra. I don't know how to say it. Macapaca. There we go. That's if you know the night garden. It seems to explode into gold and silver. Within minutes, the light reaches Annapurna. You stop for a cold breakfast of cheese and bread, washed down with tea. The best drink. I feel like my 9-year-old self again. I just turned 47 today. I'm 43. I love stuff like this. I hear listening while I remove sound from clips one by one for your June vlog. I'm excited for your June vlog, actually. So that's turn to page 99, which is another ending. Birthday? Have I missed a birthday? Oh, you turned 47 today. Sorry, I missed that bit. Happy birthday. I hope you've had, I don't know where you are in the world. I hope you have had or are having a great day. So this is another ending. Soon, you're at the vertical wall of rock. Above it, you see the face of the ice. Adulting to commence. Boo for adulting. That's me tomorrow. Carlos drives the spike in. You both rope up and proceed slowly up the rock. Over the rock, you meet an expanse of firm snow, but under it lies cold, hard ice. On with the crampons, you lead the way, probing carefully with your ice axe to seek out any hidden crevices. Washington State. One place I have not been in the US. Well, I've not been to most of the US, actually. That's an exaggeration. I've been to 4 states. I'd love to come back one day, maybe when it's a bit more settled. But the climb seems endless, and even though you're only 5,000 meters up, the air is thin and breathing is hard. By mid-morning, the sun is like a blast furnace. It reflects off the ice that surrounds you, and in the thin air, the ultraviolet rays burn your skin. You both put white zinc ointment on your nose and lips. You had taken a sight bearing when you saw the flashes. Well, that was at night. Now in daylight, it's not easy to be sure just where the flashes came from, but you have a good sense of direction, so you keep going. Near noon, you gain a crest, and then you see it. It's a Pilatus courier aircraft, one used for mountain flying. It lies in the snow, crumpled like a forgotten toy. The tail section is twisted, but the wings are intact. The engine is buried in snow. Reaching the plane, you open the cabin door. Pulled in the plane are the pilot and 2 passengers. One of the passengers is unconscious. You do what you can for the people. Later that day, a Royal Nepal Airlines helicopter finds you. All is well. It was the right thing to give help in the mountains. Congratulations for a job well done. Yes, you like try skydiving off your back step and stuff. Where's the ending with the aliens? Like, there is genuine aliens in this from just looking at some of them. But I'm not going to rewind too far. I am going to stop the book there, though. But there are a lot of books in this series. I'm just going to very, very quickly, because I have a... That's not how to do it. Oh, yes, I really want that as an advert. Thank you for that. I need to get a mad blocker back on at some point. Tacoma for about 5 years, now on Maycross State near... God, I can't read. If I try and pronounce that, I'm going to say it wrong. Wenatchee? That doesn't sound right at all. So this is book 13, I believe, in the series. Because, of course, why would I start at book 1? Would people be interested in me doing another one if I was to get one by the end of the month? That is a question. Paying free for days of falling wasn't bad. There's better ways to find ways to not be in pain than throwing yourself off things. Just so you know. Did I? Well, hey! I actually said something right. But would people be interested in me doing some more of these at some point? Because they feel like they're pretty quick to get through, actually, to be fair. So, and I am curious to see. Yes. Okay. What I will do then, I will, not now, but I will drop a poll up on the channel later on today with the ones that I'm really, really interested in. So if there's one that's more potentially horror related, I'll probably do that this month. But we'll do some more at some point. Not had many daft voices today, though, because I've behaved, but we're now at the point where I'm talking about all the books that I've bought in the last 8 weeks. Please don't judge me, people. So, we're going to start with the ebooks, which I'm going to fetch up on my Goodreads. That can disappear, don't need that. That can disappear, don't need that. So, you'll be real at the end of July, beginning of August. I have not thought that far ahead yet, if I'm honest. Right, this is going to get very bright, so I apologise. So, because I buy books, and really quite often indies, you're going to see some unusual ones in here. First one is Gog Magog by Jeff Noon and Steve Beard. I picked this up during, I think it was an indie sale a few weeks ago. I don't know much about this. I picked this up because I like the pretty cover. I believe it is a seafaring fantasy of some description. It's a duology as well. Came out in 2024. It's only 333 pages long. I just really, really like that cover. I think that is an absolutely gorgeous cover. And book 2's cover is also quite nice as well. No idea when I'm going to read it, but I will do. And there's just something about the art style of that I really, really liked. You did not throw yourself off, you slips, if you say so. So that's the first thing that I bought, which I don't know if I told Kat about, so there we go. The next one is The Starving Saints by Caitlin Starling. I've only read one book by Caitlin Starling before, which was The Luminous Dead, which I really liked, but it was a bit of an acquired taste. I get that impression that this author in general is a bit Marmite for people, if you understand that saying. you either love them or you really don't. I know Darkstar has read. What did they read by them? It was in one of the book subscription boxes. It was a very pretty book with a cat on the cover, but she hated it. So that came out last year. That's not fingered in at all. So this is actually horror, so I could read this month for Don't Die July, actually. I'm getting religious vibes off it as well. You know me, I despise religion, so I will quite happily read through that. And then we're on to my ARC reads. So the first one I've already read. Horritic by Matthew Mercer, not the D&D Matthew Mercer. I have actually finished this already. I need to put my review over on Goodreads. This isn't out till September. This is very much somebody who's grieving has turned to religion and end up getting an inheritance of what is basically the Playboy Mansion. It's actually a lot of fun. It is an erotic horror, apparently. There's not much spice in it, really, other than at the end. I think it's more because of the setting of it being this sort of Playboy Mansion, the playground for the stars sort of thing. It's more of a haunted house story than anything else. So I got that through Book Sirens. The next one is Luna's Fault. Game of Sin by Edry Rowe. So I believe, and Luna, correct me if I'm wrong about this, that this is a romancy and a debut as well. I have literally picked this up largely on the fact that Luna pointed it out to me and pretty cover, because I like pretty covers all the time. So that's also out in September, actually. Same date. So I have the ebook on that. That was through Book Sirens as well. Was it the Saints that gave it away? Shush. Okay. Southampton Football Club are nicknamed the Saints. I don't think it's anything to do with religion. It probably is. But there we go. And the final one, Norwegian author as well. And I'm pretty sure it's a debut. Pretty sure. But I see the word demons in there somewhere, which makes a pleasant change from the normal fae or dragons. And I'm not going, before you say it, I am not going near Akatar ever again, Elaine. I'm sorry. No. Never. And the final one is a book that I've been really excited for. And it is A Dirge for Cassius Part 2. This is by Callum Lott. I received the ARC yesterday. I absolutely loved Book 1. Book 1 was one of my favourite books of last year. I also love the cover. I love the cover of Callum Lott's books in general. This is a sci-fi space opera. You have been touched. No, you have been shushed. You've not been touched. Don't do that here. Yes, you have been shushed once again, Dragon Mom. Space opera has got Disco Elysium vibes, if you've ever played that video game, of this sort of broken main character and detective going through space. Lovely person. Oh, that's good. It's good to have authors that are lovely people, because some of them are really not, unfortunately. You have body horror elements in here, so while this isn't a Don't Die July read, some of the, at least in book 1 anyway, I'm not too far into it yet, does have some horror vibes to it, so it might hit the sci-fi horror sort of prompt, so to speak. It does give ElfQuest vibes. I will say all of Callum's covers are phenomenal. This is a shared universe, so Dirge for Cassius 1 and 2 sit together. You have Immortal Aberration, which is somewhere on my shelf. In fact, it's actually near to me. I can actually see it, which makes a pleasant change. Which is again very pretty. And there's one called Arcoma. It doesn't have a pretty orange cover, which is like a space western, but all set within the I think it's Vasalis universe. I don't remember things because I don't make. Yes, very much so. Valsolus, I wasn't far off. Galaxy. So, and I actually do want to speak to Callum at some point, because There's a story about his original manuscript being stolen in Peru, which is it's a fascinating story. I do need to reach out to him, see if we can get him to come on at some point. But that's the ebooks. There's more physical books. I'm going to start one that was gifted by the author. I've already read this. I've already reviewed it on the channel as well. It is Alpha by K.D. Marquesi. It's very shiny, so I do apologise. This is one of my last... just turn the ring light off. Hang on, don't think I really need it on. Oh, it's still shiny anyway. This is a sci-fi. Or the main character who has been genetically experimented on without their consent and basically sent to an island to kind of mutate and see, basically trying to create some sort of medical super soldiers for the US Army. Really, really good. This was a debut. I was lucky enough to meet Chris when he was over with his wife last month. They were over from Australia, so I do have a nice signed copy. I discovered I was the first person to review it, which was really, really nice. Really good. It's going to be book one in a series. It's 366 pages long. It's quite heavy, actually, as well. But I was gifted that last month. That's Alpha by K.D. Marquesi. Oh, here we go. Right, so we've got a couple of manga. First one is Volume 1 of Frieren, because I keep seeing YouTube shorts of the anime, or of the Grimjack sort of altered version, I can't remember, abridged version, which just looks so much fun. The idea of an elf that has no concept of time or urgency or anything dealing with humans is a really interesting one. And kind of a apathy towards everything. Excited to hit that. And then today, while I was in Manchester, I decided to pick up one that I know nothing about other than the fact it's kind of almost a legendary one in many ways, and that is Banana Fish, which had a bit of controversy earlier this year because I think it was... I'm not going to say who I think it was in case I'm wrong because I don't want to get in trouble. But earlier this year, there's an anime version of this as well as the offer is for manga. And the dub for it was AI. And it was really, really bad and came up really homophobic. There we go. Thank you for that, Luna. I got mine through Book Sirens as well, so you can get it through Book Sirens. There's 250 spots left as well. I haven't seen it. I've not watched much anime, to be honest. I tend to watch clips and I don't have much time to read stuff. But I've heard that this is like almost legendary in a lot of regards. I'm really concerned. I've seen clips of the AI voiced one and it's really bad. Genuinely terrible. But I know that there's proper dubs out there that are far, far better. So pick that up. And then we're into normal books. So the first one is a second-hand book, and Elaine is aware of this. It's Day of the Triffids by John Wyndham. I don't read classics, so I may struggle with this, but I want to read this one. This is also, I realised after I got it, because it's still got the sticker on the side. If you're in the UK, you'll recognise these. This is an ex-library book that was withdrawn and then sold. Yeah, from Trafalgar School. It's got the little page on the inside. So... that was like £2. So, nice enough. One of my favourite anime stories. Watched it back in 2018 when it released. I am going to have to... My daughter, who is 16, is getting into anime a little bit at the moment. She's currently working through Jujutsu Kaisen. And now she wants the manga, because I only have book one of it, which I think she has borrowed, i.e. stolen. But she's starting to watch more anime. So, I'm excited. Woohoo for Wyndham, yes. And then, now, this is where we find out if this is the one you were talking about, Elaine. The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa. I know somebody was talking about this, and I went, oh, that looks really interesting. And I added it to my list, but I don't know if it was Elaine or... Julie Wonka, who I also watch, who that reminds me, I've got a video of theirs to watch that they put up today, which is non-BookTube related. That's something to do after the stream. Yeah, I don't know anything about this. It just sounded really interesting from when they were talking about it. So I thought, yes, let's spend more money on books that you're not going to read probably for ages. But it sounded interesting. I actually quite like the cover as well, to be fair. So it's a dystopia as well. We like a dystopia, so there's that one. It was you and Leslie. Okay, I think somebody else has mentioned it as well. So I think I've seen it 3 times, and that's normally a good sign if I see 3 people that I trust talking about stuff. Now, the next 5 are all releases from this year, and a couple of them are from this week. Well, I say this week. One isn't due out till Tuesday, but Naughty Waterstones put it on the shelf. Yeah, so it's a horror month. Teddy bears never die. I picked this up when I was out with Chris in Manchester. He'd picked it up down in London, and I saw it and went, pretty cover, teddy bear with axe. Yes. Absolutely yes. A poisoned city, a grieving daughter, a boy trapped in a teddy bear's body. Yes. All the yes. I also know Traben over at Traben Tomes is reading this month as well. So I'm very excited to see how he finds this. I just love the cover. Like, kaiju teddy bear with axe. Yes. Then we have, and I can't remember the name of the channel, Infinite Library, did a list of LGBTQ plus books that are coming out this year. So a couple of the next 2 of the, well, probably the next 3 actually are all on that list. But Romantasy by Marie Roche. Fellas, is it gay to kiss your BFF while on a quest through the forest you're unqualified for? Juniper O'Reilly is good at only 2 things: demolishing a pint of meat and finding the perfect skincare routine. Everything else, taking care of the farm, any sort of manual labour, falls to Juniper's best friend and absurdly capable, endlessly patient Mo Elmthorn, which is a great character name, just on a side point. But when Juniper accidentally volunteers them both for a quest to kill a fearsome monster, he knows he's finally gotten in over his head. He hates camping, he hates the dark, and there's no way all these forest mushrooms are going to sit well in his stomach. So, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. That's going to be a palate cleanser read later in the year. One that I got this week, and it's been on my list for a while. I Was a Teenage Death God by MGBC Bessie. This has testimonials from Aidan Thomas, love Aidan Thomas, Andrew Joseph White, love Andrew Joseph White, Kason Collender, amazing, all 3 amazing authors. So, and also H.E. Edgman, who I have not read yet, but I want to. High school is hard enough without basically being a death god. Every time 17-year-old Charlie Ford touches someone, they absorb seconds of their life, which adds up when Charlie has no way of giving that time back. It feels like enough of a curse without Lou, the bratty bully of a ghost who's hung around Charlie's childhood, forcing them to hand over that stolen life for her to use. So, love the idea of that. I absolutely adore the cover as well. Like, I think that's a gorgeous cover. So, looking forward to that one. Romancy does look cute. It sounds cute as well. But speaking of cute, this is probably the biggest release that I'll pick up this year. It's Heartstopper. This is the last Heartstopper, I believe, Volume 6. I know Luna's got it as well. 428 pages, I think. It's a chonk. It's a chonker. This is, it does actually have some time jumps in this, just flipping through, but this takes up as, I think Charlie becomes school president, class president, from what I remember. I am really bad at names, which is ridiculous. You've read it already. Is it good? Is it good? Sorry, Charlie's going to be head boy Sorry. And because my memory is terrible, I can't remember the name of Charlie's other half, which is really bad. Because I I don't remember people's names in real life. No, not that one. Not that one. Where are you? I can't remember. I can't remember Charlie's boyfriend's name. As they go off to university, anyway. Hopefully I'll get through this month. Obviously this is a horror month though, so it is a silly question. I forget things. Oh, is it good? I expect it to be good, to be fair. I hope it has a happy ending. So, looking forward to that one. And finally, Nick, thank you. It's because I've just read one of the Guides for Dating Vampires books, and I always get character names mixed up. So this is the one that isn't out till Tuesday, yet somehow Waterstones have broken the rules again. Fabulous Bodies by Chuck Tingle. This will be getting a review this month. Yeah. Fashion. I can't read that because of the thing. Fashion Influencer by day, Grave Robber by night. Poppy Stringer is on call when Eddie Michaels, a flamboyant piano-slamming rock star and queer icon, unexpectedly dies. All Poppy has to do is retrieve Eddie's body from the medical examiner's office. But what starts as a routine delivery even, quickly goes off course when Eddie wakes up. Now Poppy must fight for her life in a blood-soaked night of carnage and fabulous entertainment all across Palm Springs. I love Chuck Tingle's horror books. Bury Your Gaze is one of my favourite horror books that I've read. I should be getting around to reading Loveless. Been laying on my shelf for too long. I mean, we all have so many books on our shelves that we haven't read yet. And have been there for too long. So many. But yeah, I'm going to start this today. It's 380 pages, I think, ish. Thereabouts. So I'll get this done in a couple of days because I'm off work this week. And then I'll go back to Dirge for Cassius Part 2. Very excited. I didn't think this was out till August originally. Then it got pulled forward in the UK. And then Waterstones did Waterstones things. So, there we go. That is all the stuff that I've bought. That is the Choose Your Own Adventure done as well. In terms of any other business, I have a reading... No, actually, let's do it in order. That's more sensible. I am over on Margaret's channel tomorrow at 6 PM British Standard Time. As mentioned earlier, talking about Trading Game by Gary Stevenson, which is a non-fiction book, which I don't do very often. On Thursday at 11:30 British Standard Time, I have a reading sprint, which is probably going to be quite a long one because I want to get quite a bit of reading done this week. And then a week on Monday at 1 PM over on Twitch, we're completing Dead Take as well as part of Don't Die July, which is an FMV horror game. So I'll be on for quite a while, Luna. So by the time you finish work, I may still be going. But before we go, I want to ask, what are people reading or doing over this weekend and into next week before we adjourn for the evening? What are we all up to? What are we reading? Pray tell before we all disappear. I didn't think it'd be done in an hour. Must admit, it's been a much shorter stream than I anticipated. I might do 2 books next time. But yeah, Fabulous Bodies is next for me. Video for Horotic will be coming because I do want to do a review of that one. Video for Fabulous Bodies when I've read it. Dirge for Cassius, and maybe, just maybe, if I can get this week in order, maybe we'll do another author interview. We'll see. We'll see if I can get it done this month because I just really want to talk to Callum. So, you finished Heartstopper Volume 6 yesterday. You think that's really good. I'm excited. I'm really excited to read it. Not gonna lie. Probably do that in a day. Oh, and also I've got the Summer Hikaru Died Volume 5. 4, 5, volume 5 to read as well, which is on my shelf down there as well. That's the other thing I've got to do this month. Currently reading Role Model by Rachel Reed. That rings a bell. Why does that ring a bell? Did I look at that today? I've looked at a lot of books today. Oh, okay. It's one of the Game Changers. Is Leslie still here? Because I can hear her. I can already hear her shouting through the screen at me. Reading The Lost World, then watching the movie. Last I watched Jurassic Park. I haven't watched a movie in so long. I might try, if it's still on at the cinema, I need to check. I might try and go and see the He-Man movie because I am just a massive child. So, it's the 5th book of the Game Changer series. I only have Heated Rivalry. I don't think I'll read the rest of them. Romance is, generally speaking, not necessarily my thing. Shocking, I know to say. But I do have... I don't even know where it is. It's over there somewhere. Underneath my Pratchett shelf, probably. I am going to read it at some point soon and watch the show. I might even do a reaction to watching the show. I might record myself doing it and see how that goes. See how red I go. But anyway, I am going to go now. But thank you so much for dropping in. Thank you to the new peeps as well. I hope you have enjoyed. I will put a poll up on the channel later on today or tomorrow just for what choose your adventure books to do next. I hope you have a great rest of the weekend. I am going to go and prepare for the disappointment. That is the going to be the England game. Arsenal needs the right one in the Priestess by... Oh, Priestesses of the White? Trudy Canavan? I presume to read Let the Right One In and Priestess. So Priestesses of the White, I love. If it is the Trudy Canavan books, love the series. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I have the Illumicrate special editions up there somewhere. Yeah, so good. I read them, 15 years ago probably now. Yeah, love them. My ex-wife has book 1 right now. But I have the special editions for myself. They're very pretty. Yeah, been reading Dragon Behind the Glass by Emily Voigt. I have not. Have I heard of that? I don't think I've heard of that. Let the Right One In. That rings a bell. I can't place it though, which is going to annoy me. Hang on. Let the Right. Yes, The Age of 5 was really good. I listened to the abridged version of The Ambassador's Mission, I think it was, last year, and was really... I read the book years ago. I've got a signed edition behind me somewhere. And the abridged version, even though it's Rosamund Pike narrating it, was really not good because they cut so much out. It really disappointed me. But I have... Where are they on my shelf? A, B, C. Yeah. Priestess's books there. Magician's Apprentice, that's the signed edition. Ambassador's Mission. I never finished that series though. Never finished Trait of Spies, which I do need to finish. Maybe I should start finishing series. That'd be a really good idea to do, wouldn't it? Is that the person who wrote Hex? No, it's not the person who wrote Hex, is it? Is it? No, it's not. No, it's not. I have seen that. In fact, I have seen that today when I was looking at the horror section because my youngest was dragging me around the horror section going, buy me horror books. No, you're 11. Nice. But yeah, the Age of 5 when it was released was so good. I also read back then. Thank you for dropping in, Elaine. I will catch up with you on Voxer, no doubt, at some point over the next week. I hope you have a great rest of your day. At the same time I was reading that, I was reading Gail Z. Martin and the... God, what are they called? Necromancy books. I can't remember what they're called. They gave me a really, really similar vibe, and I can't see them on my shelf anymore, which is going to really bug me. The Summoner. Not by Tar and Matharu, though. Different ones. I understand English and only just. So me trying to read anything in its intended language is probably a terrible idea, even when it is English. But I am going to go because I will talk forever otherwise. Obviously, it's DontDieJuly, so I'm taking part in co-hosting that. If you are a content creator and you are making any form of video that's horror related, tag me in it. I'll add you to a playlist on my channel. There's going to be other creators in there as well. It's all things horror related, so it doesn't even have to be books. But I'm going to go now. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening or day or whatever it is you're doing. Also, happy birthdays as well to Lolaru. Have I said Rue? We'll go with Rue. I can say Rue. Hope you have a great rest of your day as well. I can ignore it. You're just showing off now, Luna. Okay, just showing off because I can't read English. I'm going away. I love you all. Have a great rest of your week, and hopefully I'll see some of you in the sprint in a few days' time. Ciao, ciao.